This is The Gorge. It's a podcast where my friend Sara and I gorge ourselves in overanalyzing a topic. The Gorge is brought to you by our Ko-fi. That's ko-fi.com/THEGORGE. And if you donate to us right now, you will allow us to buy bad video games and stream them for you.
Yay.
Very soon we are going to be streaming Yick.
We said we would, and we're working on it. It's just that right now, I got a lot going on at my actual 9-to-5 job, so you know it's fine.
But that will be the first thing we stream as soon as we get our schedule stuff situated, and I'll talk more about that at the end. But for now, Sara, what are we talking about this week?
This week we're talking about another good video game instead of playing some bad video games, because we're talking about extremely good video game Bloodstained for the PlayStation 4, the Xbox One, the PC, and the Switch, but you shouldn't play the Switch version. Nobody should play the Switch version.
Not yet. I did just get an alert today that said they're planning on putting the update out this week.
Yeah, how about that update? Because, boy, Bloodstained is lucky that it's really good because all the PR shit it's going through right now would sink a lesser game. Like, apparently the update that's coming this week is just going to change how the face buttons work, so that's cool.
They actually had a patch like a week out, not a week, not even like a week. It's like 2 days out. That broke save files.
Yep.
Because it put a treasure chest in a different spot and didn't trigger if you had or had not picked it up and used the item in it.
Yep.
A potential to break your save with that and like irreparably break it. Like you couldn't. There was no workaround. Yeah, just straight up restart. But yeah, so yeah, if this was not Koji Igarashi's pride and joy,
yeah,
it would have sunk any other like Kickstarter game.
But fortunately, the deal is that like Bloodstained is insanely good. Bloodstained is Game of the Year candidate. Like
it's really good. I can't.
It's really good. I'm in shock. I had no idea. Okay, so, disclaimer. I have never played a Castlevania in my life. I don't know anything about Castlevania, except for the Netflix series. I've literally never played, like, Symphony of the Night. I've never played any of them. I don't know anything about Castlevania. So, I had no idea that Igavanias were, this good.
Well, yeah, I think I talked about this when we did our Castlevania anime episode. The only experience I've ever had with the actual video games Castlevania is I played a few, like the NES versions I played at my cousin's house a few times. And I would watch my friends occasionally play the GBA and DS versions, because I told the story before where in high school I was in drama club, and during our practice rehearsals we would just pass around copies of games, like handheld games.
Yeah, of course.
And that the big one was Castlevania. It was what was it? It was Aria of Sorrow and Portrait of Ruin, I think, was the other one.
Yes, I know Aria is definitely one of them.
Yeah, so that's but that's beyond that. I've never played an actual actual Igavania before.
Yeah, and I actually don't have a lot of experience with Metroidvanias in general. I don't know. There's always other video games to play, so I have no experience with Igavanias or Metroidvanias, because there is a difference. Boy, they're good. I can feel like a side of my brain unlocking, you know? Like that part of my brain that's like, maybe I should play some more Metroid and Igavanias.
It turns out these games that are wildly popular and like groundbreaking and people still talk about how good they are today, it turns out they're pretty good.
Who fucking knew? Who fucking knew? Mm-hmm. I had no clue. I don't even know how to articulate this. I didn't get it. Like, if you explained a castle, like an Igavania to me, I was like, I mean, that sounds neat, but I don't really get the devotion. I was just like, that sounds kind of cool, but doesn't sound like my thing. And then I played Bloodstained, and I was like, oh, this is aggressively my thing. Okay. Because of the, like, semi-open, like, I don't want to say open world, but you know what I mean, right? Like, open nature of the castle, and you can just, as long as you can physically put your body there, you can go there, you know?
Yeah, it's not like a thing where it's like, oh, you beat this level, now move on to the next section. It's like, oh, I can't get to that door yet. I can't jump high enough. I'll have to come back to that. And you just kind of explore every avenue until you find the ability that lets you go to those areas you walked past before. And it's like, we're probably saying things that's like, everyone's like, duh. Like, no shit. But like it feels so good to have that like constant level of progression.
And the increasing degree of familiarity with the castle is really fun and interesting. It's as you progress, you start to kind of understand like how things work. And at first I'm still pretty terrible at this game, but at first I was abysmal. I didn't get it. I didn't really understand it. I'm just like, I'm not really feeling this combat system because I was really wanting something more Devil May Cry. And I mean, honestly, if you gave me some more like options like that, I wouldn't mind. But as it stands, it's still really good. It wasn't clicking with me. I don't even know when it started to click. I think sometime after the first Zangetsu boss fight, I just kind of went like, oh, I get it now. I understand.
It's like a slow build, and like you start off and you're like, oh, she kind of runs pretty slowly, and you only have one attack, and these enemies are just kind of mindlessly walking back and forth, and then you get out of the ship and you kind of explore the castle a little bit, and you kind of like start making a few mental notes as you're passing by areas, and then like once you get to that like first like big plot progression part, and you've got like a fair bit of the map kind of like detailed already, and it's like, oh, I get it now.
Oh, this is really fun. Okay.
Oh, the video game.
Oh my god, video games are good. What? Yeah, the video game is extremely good. I can just feel myself being like, maybe I should go down that symphony. Should I play Aria?
Yeah.
Should I go play all those old Igas? Cause like, it is, it's an itch I want to keep scratching. Of course I beat the game and it's like, well, now I want to I only just like 20 minutes ago beat the game. Because again, my life has been really busy lately. So I haven't had like a chance to do any of the extra stuff, and I want to reload my save, and I didn't go through the Millionaire door, and I didn't use the warehouse or the Warhorse key door. I haven't been through either of those, even though I got them. I was just like, I gotta beat this game before we're recording tonight, man. So we'll probably come back and I would like to talk about this game again, or at least in some context.
When, like, the DLC, like, all comes out, because, boy howdy, 16 pieces of DLC for this game.
And it's free LC. It's free LC. Yeah, it's, that's pretty intense. And there is paid DLC coming, too, and it's like, if it is what they say it's gonna be, I'm like, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
I'm okay with that.
We can get that in a little bit, but, like... Yes. So, I think what the really cool thing about this game, and especially if you are, like, a Castlevania fan already, and, like, just, like, my little knowledge of it right now, is that, like, you know, it's such a popular thing to be, like, on Kickstarter, especially to be like, hey, this indie title is the spiritual successor to blank. You know, like Ukulele, or Mighty Number 9, or Shovel Knight, or anything like that, you know.
Yeah.
Those are the ones that really stick out in my mind the most, and there's a ton of other ones for better or for worse, you know?
Mostly for worse.
On the good scale, you've got Bloodstained and Shovel Knight, and on the mediocre scale, you've got Ukulele, and then on the bad scale, you've got Mighty Number 9.
Womp womp.
But, like, the thing about Bloodstained that's really cool is that, like, not only is it a spiritual successor created by the inventor of, you know, the genre it's named after.
Right, yeah.
It's like, it could stand as a spin-off or like a legitimate sequel to Castlevania, because not only does it feel like an Igavania, it visually looks like Castlevania.
Oh yeah! Oh my god! I love the way this game looks.
The music is Castlevania-like. The plot, the story, the characters. It's all like, oh yeah, Miriam could be a Belmont super
Miriam
easily.
Is basically a Belmont. Yeah.
And it's like with a lot of other spiritual successors like that, you kind of are. People want, I want that game back. You know, I want that old school style back, but. It's sometimes like the visually it's different, or like it's not quite the characters you like or anything like that. But this just is a Castlevania with a different name.
It's just a Castlevania. I mean, there's even a castle. There's just a castle that appears out of nowhere. Like,
there's a vampire that looks a lot like Alucard.
Voiced by Alucard. That's Alucard's voice actor. Yeah. There's a lady vampire, and the quote-unquote final boss, not really, is you find him and he's sitting on a throne. So, you know, if he had, tossed a wine glass aside, then it just would have been a Castlevania.
Yeah.
It just would have been a Castlevania. So, and I mean, that's fine. Everything I've heard about this game from people who are Castlevania fans, and that is mostly the Gigaboots guys who are huge Castlevania fans, is just like, yeah, it's what you wanted. It's every element from, like, because Symphony of the Night is, according to like Castlevania fans, is good, but it's dated because, of course, later Igavanias kind of elaborated and expanded upon the ideas that Symphony started. They kind of evolved those concepts.
It's the Devil May Cry 1.
Yeah.
It's still a good game, but like if you are going back to Symphony of the Night, you're going to be like, what the hell is this?
Right, yeah, so going back to it, probably even from Bloodstained, would be interesting, but I would like to do it, because Symphony of the Night is considered a classic. But yeah, it has a lot of, like, all the quality of life stuff that started in Symphony and progressed from there, and so you're even getting some of the elements of stuff like Order of Ecclesia, and I think that's all really interesting. I really like the amount of... I like that everything drops a shard.
Even the shard system is from the GBA one. Like, it's the exact same system as the Soul system.
Yeah, basically. And I like that. I like that. It's kind of like the amount of, and this is another reason why I'm not really done with this game. I mean, I'm done with like the main quest, but I'm not really done with this game because I would like to go back and fiddle around with shards some more. Again, I was listening to Dan Video Games at Gigaboots, and he was explaining things about the system that I had no idea. There is so much going on. Like, all your passive shards, if you master them, they just stay on. Like, you don't have to have them equipped. They just stay on.
Oh, God. That's horribly broken.
That's insanely broken. And they stack. So, like, if you master, like, luck, let's say, it gives you plus 10 luck. But if you... So, you've got a passive always on plus 10 luck. But if you also equip it, you get another plus 10 luck. So you get plus 20 luck.
God!
Yeah. And it's just all of that can stack. You can learn through... I didn't know this either. It's somewhere in, like, a book. It's somewhere in the menus. You know, the moves you can learn from the books. If you repeat them, you can learn them for every weapon.
Oh, so you could just do that input for...
Like, for, like, any... Like, you know how, like, certain katana, for example, have like a specific combo attached to them.
So you can just learn that for every other katana.
Yes, if through repeated use. There's like
God.
I know! And then all that shit starts to stack, and you suddenly have like the best gun in the game, has unlimited ammo, and it always hits whatever, and it's like, oh no, this game's really broken if you really know what you're doing. Like,
if you want to play on like hard mode, like you can fully take advantage of that kind of stuff for sure. So that's why I'm not really done with this game, but I've played enough of it. There's already other things coming out, so it's like I can take a step away from Bloodstained for a little while. But there's so much more hidden depth to this game that I had no idea. I was just having fun combining shards and hearing "Arise myself in my shadow" 800,000 times over the course of this game. I'm probably going to hear it in my dreams for a while now. My mom was watching me play for a while, and she was walking around the house just kind of like repeating it. I was like, Mom, what are you doing? She's like, I can't get it out of my head. Stop! I can't get it out of my head. See, that's the problem, is that because that's such a broken shard to have just always equipped.
Yes.
And it doesn't stay with you if you go to different rooms.
Right.
Then, y'all are gonna be hearing it a lot.
And they couldn't... sometimes, Iga, in video games, like, when you know somebody's gonna be casting that same spell over and over again, sometimes they have, like, multiple lines for the incantation.
Like a Tales game will have multiple versions of saying an art name.
Or sometimes it'll be like, you've used that same incantation a couple times. Maybe just not have them say it for a few times.
Maybe
that would be
only,
okay.
Maybe have it only trigger like 20% of the time instead of 100% of the time.
Oh God, literally, I'm going to hear it in my sleep. Like, it's
the thing is, Miriam's a noisy girl, isn't she?
She talks a lot.
She yells a lot.
She's constantly saying things and making battle grunts and having to say invert like 1,000 times is also just like... it's... she's a lot chattier than I expected when I first saw the art of Miriam. I was like, like a quiet, kind of like Shinoa from Word of Ecclesia. I know that Shinoa, like, doesn't have a soul, so she doesn't have a personality in Ecclesia for a while. I don't know. I don't actually know anything about Castlevania. This is all just like third-hand knowledge from the internet kind of thing. So when I saw Miriam, I'm like, oh, she's gonna be like quiet and stuff, like Shinoa. No, actually, Miriam is quite nice and very talkative.
I'm surprised there is not like a turn off incantations option.
Oh, that would be great, wouldn't it?
There's a lot. Okay, so there's a lot of little things in this game.
Yeah.
That are like, oh, they're gonna patch that out.
They have to
in the DLC. Like, after the first like patch came out, and it's like you're playing this game now. It's like, oh, I can name like 5 things off the top of my head. It's like, oh, they're not. This is a problem. It's they're going to patch that.
There's a lot of stuff. Oh, go ahead.
You're gonna get your basic run speed back underwater. Like
they have to
patch that in.
That would be insane to not patch out. Yeah.
Being able to craft or cook in bulk instead of one at a time.
Being able to buy things in bulk would be really nice.
Yeah.
So I'm not hearing the same lines from Dominique all the time.
Being able to turn in a bunch of quests at once.
Oh God, please. Please let me do that.
Stuff like that is definitely like, oh yeah, just put that back in. Like,
yeah, that's the thing that kind of keeps Bloodstained for me, kind of. I mean, maybe after a couple of patches, but right now it's like Bloodstained is so close to being like a serious, Game of the Year contender. It's still one of the best games of the year so far, but between like these little quality of life things and the fact that, like, man, even with patches, this game is still kind of buggy. Is like, I keep getting this problem where if like if like a drop, like an item drop, kind of lands at a funny angle, I can't pick it up.
Oh, that actually does have a fix in it, though.
Really? How?
When you leave the room, it'll automatically go into your inventory.
Really?
Yeah. As soon as you pass through a door, if you look, like, it's kind of hard to see because, you know, like, you're constantly in motion. But yeah, if you walk, if an item, like, clips into a wall, or, like, is in a place where you can't get at it, and you walk through a door, it'll automatically go into your possession.
Okay. I mean, that's nice, but it's still, you know, it's still a bug. It's still like a broken thing.
They have a fix for it, but they didn't fix the actual bug, and I don't know if they're like, if that's just like a quick fix and they'll do it properly later, but yeah, for now, like, you're not missing out on anything.
There's a few times where I clipped into walls. There's just a few little things that kind of give it like an unpolished, or maybe just kind of rough. I don't even want to say unpolished, because unpolished gives the suggestion of being unfinished.
Yeah.
But just kind of rough around the edges.
I noticed words would literally disappear in text boxes sometimes.
Yep.
Like, not just like, oh, the voice actor added an extra the or an at or an in or something. Like, no, there's a gap in the line, like the word is missing.
Yeah.
There's that one sword that you can craft. Did you see the sword?
No.
That just has, like, I don't remember what it's called. But there's like a sword you can only craft. I think with an 8-bit coin.
Oh yeah.
And its description is just like junk code.
I think, but that's a joke. I know that one's a joke because the sword is called. Well, the sword is called something like the encrypted blade.
Okay, I didn't know that. I thought it was just like, no, description got messed up.
I think that one's a joke. I think that one is because it is like, you know, like an encrypted code or something like that. I wonder if somebody solved it. But yeah, there's all kinds of just little things like that kind of keep it from really hitting its full potential. There is the performance issues on PlayStation 4. I heard it even chugs on PS4 Pro, which is wow.
Yeah.
Veil 4 and a few other bosses that just slow the game to a crawl. I know it's UE4. I know it's UE4, but boy.
It's a slideshow on Veil 4 when he does his poker chip attack.
And I don't understand. I guess because those are all individual models on screen? It's
gotta be that. It's gotta be it's just that NES problem where there's too many sprites on the screen at one time.
Right, yeah. It's really noticeable on Veil 4. It's not as bad, but it is noticeable on the Twin Dragons.
Yeah, I got that a lot too.
It's not as bad as Veil 4, but still, you know, pretty rough. Just like little things like that just kind of keep it from being.
I saw someone on Twitter today just being like, it really feels like they hit compliance and they pushed it out the door, you know?
Right, yeah, because they didn't want to delay it any longer, but yeah, it's just like, I would really like a few more quality of life improvements in patches, especially the moving underwater thing, which is just abysmal.
It's, either fix your run speed or let us use Aquastream and the run underwater thing at the same time.
Yes.
Because right now you can't.
Also make Aquastream just like not the worst thing in the universe to aim. Because it is really unwieldy, I guess, to point in the opposite direction of where you want to go.
You do that, and then you also, like, try to attack in the direction you are being propelled in, and you can't because Miriam's facing the wrong direction.
That's when Welcome Company comes in handy. You're just like, I'm gonna let these portraits handle this problem while I try to navigate being underwater.
Give me your strength, Kickstarter backers.
Yeah, that's definitely what those are. Boy, it's really obvious, too. The first time I saw a portrait in this game, I'm like, that's a Kickstarter backer.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure one of them is Aaron Hansen.
It could, I could. Yeah. Yeah. There's There's a few really interesting ones. I like all the portraits. Man, the art in this game is really good. Just the art style is really, really good. Oh, the other thing, though, that kind of makes it janky is, boy, some of the cutscene animations are, oof. I'm thinking of, like, Johannes' virgin walk. And I'm right. Johannes does the virgin walk. You're welcome.
Everyone just... of course he does.
Yeah, he does, like, it's the Virgin Johannes and the Chad Sanketsu. One is voiced by David Hayter and the other isn't.
The cutscenes in this game are very, like, there's very clearly, like, oh, we only have in-game models. There is no cutscene model. It's just...
every time Johannes walked across the screen, I'm like, stop! You're killing me.
The cutscenes only exist because they couldn't depict what they wanted to in the game's camera.
Yeah, they had to find a way.
They are what they are. You're not here for cutscenes.
I'm not here for the cutscenes. I'm not. And I mean, like, the art direction for this game is beautiful. So it kind of that kind of helps, like, a lot, is just how gorgeous the stained glass look in this game is just the best.
God.
It is I cannot imagine the amount of time that went into the art assets for this game, because there is stained glass fucking everywhere. And it is tremendous.
And, you know, like, a month before the game came out, Iga put out that update trailer. Yeah. And he's like, where it's like, because everyone saw it when we first got our hands on the game. It's like, I mean, yeah, it looks good. It looks all right. Like, it looks
fine.
It's passable. I mean, it's not bad, but, like, you would expect, you know, Igarashi to, you know, put out something a little high quality. And then, like, a month before the game comes out, he's like, he puts out that video where he's like, literally, like, here's the crap version, and here's our improved version.
It's so cool. Koji Igarashi is so cool. That's the important part of this conversation, is that Iga is extremely cool.
What I really appreciate about this game, as a backer of it, is, like, dude, he was so transparent.
Yeah,
like,
from start to finish.
100%. He's like, yeah, everything. He owned up to everything.
Right.
He made no bones about, like, any of the problems or any of the delays. He's like, yeah, it's being delayed. We're canceling the Wii U version. We're overhauling the entire visual design. Yeah, there you go. It is what it is.
Yeah, and that's good on him, because a lot of times it's easy for a Kickstarter to just kind of, like, fall to the wayside, and then they take the money and run. That's the feeling you get. But no, Iga was straightforward the whole time. It's really cool of him. And Bloodstained definitely doesn't feel like a kickstarted game. The only hint that it's kickstarted is the portraits, which anybody with two eyes who knows anything about video games would be like, those look like regular people who got put into fancy clothes. And the 800-year-long credits.
God, the credits that had to be divided into chunks.
Yeah. The credits are intense.
I just love that, like, there's the Yogscast clan, there's the Game Grumps clan, there's the Zaibatsu clan. It's like, we know who this game was appealing to.
Yeah, it's it's really funny to me, just how much, well, I guess, how much people actually really love Castlevania, because, again, I had no idea. I don't know anything about Castlevania. And how hard this game just recaptures that feeling of playing a really good-ass Igavania. And that's without my having any experience with them. I can just kind of feel it. I'm just like, oh man, is this what they're all like? This is awesome. I
mean, I got that feeling too, where it's just like, oh, this must be what everyone likes about them.
Yeah, and it is it's almost hard for me to even describe the feeling I was getting at times. I know that's not true. I can describe it. It's the same weird feeling I got while playing the Resident Evil 2 remake, where I felt like I was playing a game made in another era, but with like a modern sensibility behind it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I get what you're saying. It's like all of the like quality of life things that would mean even without the ones that are in Bloodstained, but like there's still a ton of positive quality of life things in Bloodstained that it's like, oh yeah, this is what it would have felt like playing this kind of game for the first time back in the 90s.
Yeah, it's kind of like when we were talking about RE2's puzzles and how I realized I was like, I've never really played a game like this in the modern era where it just kind of gives you a bunch of stuff and throws you into a small environment and says, here, go crazy, have fun. And then it doesn't really tell you anything else. It doesn't really hold your hand ever. It just sets you loose into an interesting environment full of locked doors and interesting enemies. And like, that's it. That's all you got to work with. And that's the same feeling I got while playing Bloodstained, was just this sense of nobody is holding my hand. Nobody is telling me what to do. They're just like saying, here's a big castle. Go have fun. Figure it out on your own. Occasionally figuring it out on your own is fucking impossible, Igarashi. But for the most part, you know, I appreciate it.
So there's a very few points where it's like, I don't fucking know what they want me to do.
Iga, how the hell was I supposed to figure out where that Aegis armor was? Really?
That one is the most bullshit. Okay, so there's a few that I'm like, how the fuck was I supposed to know to do that? One of them is getting the swimming ability, or the aqua steam ability from a random ass enemy.
That is bullshit. It should have just been, it should have just been an encounter. You just got it the first time. Like, there shouldn't have been a random chance.
Or a boss. It should have been a boss that you just get it from, like, every other ability. That one and the Aegis armor.
Yeah.
Where it's like, how was I supposed to know to go back to this tower and use invert on this one spot?
This one spot, and you can jump in a funny way and fill in that spot on the map without getting the Aegis armor.
Yeah, and so it's like, you would never think to go back to that area and try it.
Right.
So yeah, that one is pure bullshit, and the Aqua Stream one is like mostly bullshit. Mm-hmm. But for the most part, everything else is just like, oh yeah, I would have figured that out eventually.
Okay,
I would have.
One other thing that is slightly bullshit. Maybe it's just because I'm like dumb and didn't pick up on it, but I don't think I'm dumb. I just think that they didn't explain it well enough. I didn't know you could use the stained glass hand to move the Iron Maidens. Yeah,
that one took, because like normally that's like they're like highlighted in white that you can grab them, but it's like that one is like, I had that trouble too, but then I was like, I don't have anything else. I might as well try it.
Yeah, that's eventually what happened with me too. It just took me it literally took me until I had to go find the Aegis armor. Until I had to like find like how to get past those spikes to get to the last area of the goddamn game. Then I was just trying everything I could because I'm like, I don't have anything else to move this stupid fucking Iron Maiden. And then I tried it once and I was like, oh, I'm an idiot. Okay, I'm an idiot. So, yeah.
So, yeah, the thought of not holding your hand is a double-edged weapon. Because sometimes it's like, boy, this game's not treating me like an idiot. But sometimes it's like, please treat me like an idiot.
Please treat me like an idiot, because I might be an idiot sometimes.
And what's really good about these kinds of games, and like RE2, is that it's like, you're right, it doesn't hold your hand, but it does a really good job of like nudging your brain in the right direction.
Right.
Like, you'll kind of mentally map like, oh, hey, I can't get to that ledge yet. I'll bet I'll get a double jump. And then like, the way the map is designed, like, you're probably going to walk past those rooms a few times.
Yeah.
Just enough to like lock it in your memory. Like, oh yeah, now that I have this double jump, oh yeah, there was that area really early on I can go back to, and I can get back up there.
Yeah, and eventually you start... That's the fun... And that is the other thing that kind of makes me think of Resident Evil 2, is this idea of... You start making, like, a mental map of places you can't get to yet. but eventually you will be able to. And so you start being like, okay, well, I can't get in here now, and there's nothing in my inventory or in my move set that will allow me to get to this place, but I know where it is, and I've internalized its location, so eventually I know I'm going to come back here and get this thing, or do whatever, and it'll all make sense. And that's kind of what helps breed familiarity with the castle as well, is that eventually you start going like, okay, well, I need to go here, and soon you can kind of look at the map and just know, like, well, this is this section, and this is that section, and you start getting this really good sense of just where you are in relation to everything and your fastest routes, and I really like that a lot. You start gaining a lot of navigational confidence is a term I'm going to say right now.
That's a really, really good way of putting it. And I got that feeling a lot playing RE2 as well, where it's just like, oh yeah, I know how to get from here to here the quickest route and the quickest, easiest way to get there without even having to constantly check my map because I've done this route so many times.
And you start to feel more confident in your ability to evade enemies, which is another kind of Resident Evil thing. It's like, well, I don't really want to waste time fighting you guys. I mean, like, I could, because obviously you always need the EXP, you always need to grind for shards, you always need to maybe get, like, a rare drop or something like that. But sometimes you just want to get from point A to point B as fast as possible. And eventually, as you progress through the game, you start gaining the confidence to be like, well, I know how to get around you without having to fight you. You know, I have lots of things in my repertoire. I can double jump or slide or just rely on welcome company, which is a big one. And you just start feeling more confident in your ability to kind of function within this castle. It stops being like this big, intimidating place where you are just like one person and this place is huge and oh my god, what do I do? And why is everything killing me so often? Why is this game so hard? And eventually you realize, like, no, I actually have a pretty good understanding of this game. And it stops it again. It's like Resident Evil. You start RE2 and you're like, this is really scary because I don't know when my next save is going to be. And by the end of it, you're just like, excuse me.
Yeah, I gotta get through.
I got places to be.
It ends up being like the save point goes from being a whole 5 rooms away to being just 5 rooms away.
5 rooms away. Yeah, exactly. And eventually you get to a really good point where it's like, once you get to the, God, I don't remember what it's called. I've been calling it the Clockwork Library in my head. It's the library with all the razor blades and stuff.
Liber Ex Machina, I think.
Liber Ex Machina, yeah, you got it. Okay. Once you get to the Liber Ex Machina, no, sorry, the Hall of Termination, the fancy, shiny, golden one. Once you get there, your life gets so much easier. Once you unlock that spot, because at that point, every single travel room also becomes a save room. Because there's a save room directly beneath the travel room in Hall of Termination. So suddenly it's like, well, I don't know where the save room in this area is, but I do know where the travel room is, and I can get to a save really easily just to be safe. Yeah.
That's what I started using the village as my home base. Just like, okay, I found the travel room, back to the home base, drop off all my stuff, save, back to it.
Make some, sell some stuff, fuse some stuff, save, and then you get back to it. It's the same idea. And it's like, if you don't even want to do that many screens, you can just hop off to the Hall of Termination. And yeah, I love that. It's again this idea of you're becoming more confident and more assured, and you understand the systems more, and that's kind of what you want in this game that isn't about like holding your hand. It's like they're gonna set you loose and you will learn on your own how to survive, and by the end of it you feel really good about yourself. You're like, I went through that whole mess mostly by myself. At one point I might have needed a guide, but only at one point, and that was to find that godforsaken Aegis armor. And
the opposite effect though is the first time you're in a new area.
Oh,
and
scary.
You've got that whole mental thought of like, oh god, I can't go back.
No.
I can't go back. It's too far to go back. It's way too far to go back. I can't. But I only have like one potion, and my health is at half right now.
Do I go forward? Do I keep pressing forward?
I can't. I'm at a branching hallway. Okay, maybe if I take the left door, it'll be the save room. Maybe.
Nope.
Maybe. Okay, nope. That's another whole hallway. Okay. Well, I can go up, and maybe if I go up, there'll be a door right there at the entrance. Maybe. Okay. Nope. It's a whole other thing. Okay. All right. I've got 2 paths now. Okay. Which one is more likely to be? God, the guy on that side is really big, though. I can't jump over him because it's a hallway. I can't clear that distance. Okay, all right.
You start doing these mental mathematics of trying to find where this save room is. You're just like, it has to be. I know, probably the scariest it's ever been, and the one thing that kept me from playing this game for like 2 days was to get to the underground section. You go through the Garden of Silence, and you go down that well, and suddenly you're in like the underground area kind of sequence. I went down there on a whim. I knew I had to go somewhere else, but I was like, ooh, that's a hallway I haven't been down before. Let's check it out. And then like 30 minutes later, I'm like, where the fuck am I? What the fuck did I just do? I can't go back now. I've got way too much experience and way too much shit. And then I died before I could hit a save room, and I lost like 30 minutes of content.
God.
And I was just like, you know what? Maybe I don't need to play Bloodstained for a few days. I'm gonna go do something else.
I can just take a break. It's fine.
I think I'm gonna take a break from Bloodstained, or I'm gonna throw my PS4 out the window.
you get to these situations where it's like, you get to the save point in the red, and you're like, oh, thank God. You just fling yourself on that couch.
And Miriam just, like, launches herself face first into the couch. Oh, sweet Jesus, thank you. Yeah, it's very much that. Oh, man. But it's great, because then once you have your safe room, you kind of have your little base of operations. You can kind of set yourself up, and suddenly it's like, oh, I can just go explore, and then I can figure out every nook and cranny and go like, oh, that looks like hard progress, and I'm really glad boss doors are marked, because then I know, like, that's progress. I don't need to go that way just yet.
Yeah, you can save that for later.
I'll go there in a little while, but not right now. Yeah, all kinds of stuff like that. It's good. It's real good.
Once you get the full layout of the castle, you're like, oh, look at how nicely spaced everything is. Like, look at these save points are just the right distance. These travel rooms are pretty close to the save rooms. You know, you've got that kind of thing where it's like, yeah, you got to make a little trek to get from one to the other, but it's not that bad. It's doable. The one I had the biggest problem with was the trip from the save room to the warp room in the Oriental Lab.
Oh, that was
because
it's
that straight hallway with all of the assassin type enemies.
It's 2 hallways full of assassin type enemies,
and you have to you have to do that like S to get from one to the other. It's just like, oh God.
And all the next time, just if they made another, they're gonna make another Bloodstained because this game is done well enough. In the next one, can we just like take all the bats and the rats and the monkeys? Can we take all of those and we put them in a sack, and we put a couple of rocks in that sack? Then we tie the sack up and we throw it in the fucking river, so I never have to deal with any of those annoying things ever again, because I hate them. I don't mind the dull hammerheads or the stone variant, but I don't like the fucking jumping around
the monkeys.
Assholes. I'm trying to
monkeys
get places.
Are the worst.
The monkeys were the worst. Yeah, I don't like those. I don't like them.
I kind of feel like if they make a Bloodstained 2, I kind of feel like Welcome Company will be a default ability you get, like right off the bat. Kind of like how Mega Man X like incorporated the dash, and it just, you just have it now.
Yeah.
Because like the amount of times it gets like everyone is like, oh yeah, just use Welcome Company.
Just use it. I mean, it doesn't have to be Welcome Company in, like, a sequel. It can just be some kind of, like, repelling shield or something like that. I don't know. But everybody uses it. It's super handy to navigate these spaces filled with enemies while you're trying to do jumping puzzles. Yeah, because I didn't realize how useful Welcome Company was until you told me. So I was trying to do, like, especially, God, in the Liber Ex Machina and the Cathedral. The bell towers for the cathedral. I was trying to do those jumping puzzles where there's Dullahammer heads and stuff like swimming around me, turning me to stone. I was trying to do it without without it, just jumping around trying to avoid it. Boy, I was getting mad. I'm like, Iga, you're making me angry.
That area is designed to be like, hey, you better use the shield ability.
Yeah, I didn't even realize that's what it did. I don't know what I thought it did because I didn't use it. I had other, like, shards I was more attached to. And so I was just like, that sounds dumb. Is it just going to make, like, I thought it was just going to make, like, one painting that would, like, fly in front of you and take things out in front of you. Kind of the way, like, other summon spells had been doing. So I was like, that sounds dumb. I don't want to fool with that. And then you were like, no, you got to use Welcome Company. And then
it's the best.
And then I used Welcome Company, and now I'm going to hear Arise Myself in My Shadow until I die. So, that's fine. Just that and invert over and over again on a loop for the rest of your life.
It's just those two. Like, those are the two. Like, that's, like, one of the only ones she actually has, like, an incantation for. And it's the one you're going to be using a lot.
So much. It's like they knew. They're like, we're going to make you hear this a lot. Just get used to it. It's like your punishment for using the easy way out.
There are some, though, that I'm like, when I play a New Game Plus, I'm like, I'm going to want to test out more and just use for the novelty of it.
Yeah.
I like the punk rock demoness.
Yes, that's a good one.
That instead of just creating, like, a path of fire, no, you summon her, and she shreds on the guitar to create fire.
That's really cool.
And it's like, oh, that's sweet. Yeah, there's like a lot of the directional ones I want to start using more.
Yeah, I definitely want to experiment more. I kind of started putting together like an explore, because you get the slots. So I got I had like an exploration slot, which was of course like the what is the ray ability called? I just know it's called. I just call it the ray.
Yeah. The teleport, like the teleporting ray. I can't remember now. Like reflector ray or something.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it is it reflector ray. Good job. It was like reflector ray and Welcome Company and like there was one other, I can't remember it, but they were basically like, it was like my little exploration, like I'm just kind of casually exploring the castle. And then I had one that was like my bosses, and it was more just attack based ones. And I really like, Vaisha, the ice ones, and the Tepis whatever ones, the electricity ones. Those are really fun for trying to handle bosses and stuff like that. So I would like to expand on learning how to incorporate those while I explore more.
The ice shard one is upgraded. It's really good against the final boss.
Yes it is. I learned that after dying to the final boss once or twice. I'm like, I'm gonna find another route. I gotta find another way to handle this. It was great. I think it's a pretty good selection of bosses. I don't think there's any. I don't think there's any like genuine low points with the bosses. I didn't like the twin dragons. I don't know. It's one of those bosses that just kind of feels like you're killing time.
Okay, yeah, I can kind of see that. I didn't like that one. Mostly because I came into it completely unprepared and I wasn't expecting to fight a boss there.
Right, yeah.
And it ended up being... so, I guess one of the problems I have with these bosses is that because there is no health bar for them, yes. I feel like... Boy, those are some high HPs on a lot of these bosses.
I agree. I feel like the humanoid bosses, they all feel pretty fair for this kind of a game. Like, they go pretty snappy. They deal a lot of damage, but you also deal a lot of damage, which is kind of like my ideal boss fight, where the fight is fast but really tense because you're both dealing out killing blows. I feel like the non-human enemies were way more just tedious. Where it's like, I don't know how much health you have, so I don't know how much I should be worrying right now.
There were a lot of points where I hit the point of, I passed the point of, boy, this is a tough boss, to, okay, come on, like, are you gonna go down?
Please hurry it up, yeah. That was my, like, lone, I don't think any of the bosses were necessarily bad, except for, like, Twin Dragons, maybe. But otherwise, boss selection was fine. Some of them were really fun. Some of them less so. By the end of it, I really came to enjoy the Zangetsu boss fights a lot more. The first time I fought him, I'm like, I fucking hate this game because Miriam isn't fast enough. She can't jump fast enough. It all just feels like really, like, against me. I just feel like the game is totally, like, not in my favor, which is the point. Because when you go to Zangetsu 2, it's like, this is great. I'm having a good time.
you know, it is kind of like Virgil.
It's kind of like a Devil May Cry, except there's only two fucking Zangetsu fights.
There's only two Zangetsu fights. There should
want a third one.
There should have been a third.
Give me a third one. Give me a bonus Zangetsu fight. It's super, super hard. That sounds so cool.
So cool. I can't wait to play as him. Dude's so awesome.
It's just handsome David Hayter again. It is just David Hayter too. That's my favorite part of Bloodstained is when Zangetsu opens his mouth and it's like, that's just Solid Snake.
It's just Snake talking. It's so cool.
That's just Snake. Okay. Thanks, David Hayter. Doing your graveliest possible voice.
So there's like a cutscene you can get, like, because you know sometimes you go talk to Dominique and she's like, oh yeah, Zangetsu had a message or whatever.
Yes.
There's one you can get where Miriam's like, hey, how come Zangetsu can travel this castle? Like, I have all these abilities and shards and stuff. Like, I'm a shard binder. I'm trained to do this. How come Zangetsu can? And Dominique is like, oh, he's just that strong.
Oh. So awesome.
It's so cool.
He's so cool.
It's like, oh yeah, he can just double jump. He just learned how to do that.
He just can. He's so cool. It's really annoying, actually. Like, his design is so dope. Boy, has anyone ever... I guess this is a spoiler. Boy, we've been in this for an hour, and we haven't had any kind of, like, plot spoilers. But, I mean, like, the plot is extremely bare bones. Mm-hmm. But we're gonna have, like little baby spoilers now, so... Go play Bloodstained. Anyways, has anyone ever been as not dead as Zangetsu is not dead?
So like you get to the final cutscene and they're like, they're like, oh yeah, it's such a tragedy about Jibel and Zangetsu, and I'm like, wait, Zangetsu didn't die. What? Oh, I guess technically he did.
They think he is. No, Nobody has ever been not dead as Zangetsu isn't dead. Like, I'm just like, that's the cutscene you're gonna try and use to convince me that he's died? Okay. Okay, Ika.
Sure,
I'll go along with it.
Yeah, he's dead. Yup.
Sad.
We won't ever see Zangetsu ever again. Yep.
Not in like a free DLC pack or anything like that in the future.
We totally buy it.
Oh, you got me, Ika. I do wish Jibel had survived, but that's because, like I was telling you in text messages, I wish Jibel had survived just because I want Bloodstained 2 to be Rondo of Blood, where you're just swapping between Miriam and Jibel for, like, the whole game. I think that would be really fun.
That's, Ritual of the Moon, or, Curse of the Moon.
Is it?
So, you know, because...
Oh, yeah, that's right, the little pre-game thing.
Yeah, had a thing where you switch between 4 of the characters. You switch between Zangetsu, Miriam, Alfred, and... Crap, I can't remember who else
Johannes?
It was. It might have been Johannes, but, like... I can look it up. But, like, it's kind of funny, because, like, Ritual of the Night is not canon to Curse of the Moon.
Right.
But like, because I kind of like went back to it a little bit, you know, after the Curse of the Moon came out, and I'm playing it, and it's kind of like if Curse of the
no, the other playable one is Jibel. It's Zangetsu, Miriam, Alfred, and Jibel.
Okay, yeah, all right. So it's kind of like if Ritual of the Night was the original, then Curse of the Moon is the 20 years later remake, reboot, franchise thing.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. I would like to play Curse of the Moon. Yeah.
It's pretty cool. It is very much, this is the classic Castlevania, and Ritual of the Night is, or Curse of the Moon is the
No, other way around. Curse of the Moon is the first one, and Ritual
Curse of the Moon
Night
is the first one, and then Ritual of the Night,
is it's okay. No, they all start to sound the same after a while. It's okay, because there's also, like, Aria of Sorrow, Symphony of the Night,
Portrait of Ruin.
It's all starting to blur together now. I could not Order of Ecclesia. Yeah, no. They all sound the same. It's fine. It's something of something. But no, I would like still a Bloodstained 2. I wanted a Bloodstained 2 where Jeeble got to play a playable character because I like his design. I thought he looked cool. One of the paid DLC things that Iga is talking about in that customer survey is, do you want a skin for Miriam where she's fully corrupted like Jeeble? And I've never slapped the yes button on my computer so hard.
So yeah, there was just today, they put out another poll for backers, or it's a public poll, but it was announced for, on the Kickstarter page, where it's yeah, we're gonna make some costume DLC. Hey, pick 16 of these costumes you want. And it's everything, it's I want to pick all of them though. Can you make all of them? Can you just do all of them instead?
I'll pay for all of them if you make them, please.
And it's here's the list. It's pick 16 of them, and they're all really good. You've got your classes. You've got maid. You've got samurai.
Right.
You've got corrupted, demon, vampire.
Yes!
They clarified the vampire one. It's a prim and proper looking vampire like OD, and it's okay, perfect.
Oh, yes!
They had Cave Woman.
Sure.
Which I'm yeah, all right, sure.
Okay.
I think they had Angel and Demon and Maid,
and a new, a better, a more full version of the Valkyrie outfit, a different Valkyrie outfit, which is yeah, okay.
They had Princess, a whole bunch, and I'm just I want all of them, please. Can you just give all of them?
Can I have a bunch for Zangetsu too?
Yeah.
Can you make a really unsubtle Solid Snake one, call it the sneaking suit?
I really, really hope that with Zangetsu's DLC you can still go to Todd.
Yes. Please let me give Zangetsu a haircut. Let me give him pigtails.
Yeah, just import all of Miriam's hairstyles.
It's such a good idea. I really hope Zangetsu gets some kind of costumes and stuff too. Some kind of customizable options. I hope Miriam gets. I want them to add. I'll just take more colors for Miriam. Honestly.
Honestly, Miriam's design is so fucking good already that it's
very solid.
Just add more colors.
Yeah, that's my only complaint, is that, there just weren't enough colors. I'm no, I want an all-white version that isn't the Valkyrie outfit. I want, a white version of her current outfit.
There was no white, there was no yellow.
Yeah.
And there was, just add more different shades, add different hair colors, and eye colors and stuff. It's yeah.
That's it. I'd be totally happy with that.
So good, because Miriam's design is so fucking sharp.
It's so solid. Her boob tattoo, I'm just that looks cool. I mean, it all just looks cool. She got a crystal on her back, and she just looks really dope. And she's fun character. It's great.
It's so funny how you can tell there are some characters that are cool, and there's others that just Johannes' design is just whatever. He's villager man.
Whatever. He's just a guy.
You look at Johannes compared to Dominique and Miriam and Zangetsu, and it's oh yeah, which one of these guys is playable?
Who's important in this story? It's not Johannes. He just runs the alchemy shop. Sorry, buddy. Yeah.
So yeah, they put out the thing where they're okay, we're putting out Zangetsu DLC and then one more character. And do you think it's going to be Jeeble or Dominique?
I hope it's Jeeble. Dominique would be cool too, though.
Yeah, she would.
That would be cool.
So
I'd take either.
I gotta ask, when did you realize that Dominique was evil?
Oh, pretty much immediately.
Mm-hmm. When she's oh yeah, I'll take all the shards you want.
Yeah. Yeah.
And when Miriam's like, hey, how come you can handle shards even though you're not a shard binder? And she's like, oh yeah, the church loves to collect these shards and they'll pay you money for them.
Yeah, pretty much immediately, or at least if not immediately, I was like, that's kind of weird. And then a little while later, she's just like in the castle and she can get around just fine, and she's just like a church lady. She's not like Zangetsu. I was like, she's evil. Okay. Yeah.
I mean, the biggest giveaway was, yes, I'm a member of the church.
I'm a member of the church in a Castlevania game. Yeah. It's not very subtle. And then, boy, Miriam she's a good girl, but she's also, dumb as rocks. When you run into her in one of the secret labs, and Dominique's just there, and she's talking to Alfred, it's like, yeah, you're a bad guy.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, you're a bad guy. Yeah. I think her crystal look is super sexy, though.
I mean, yeah, obvious. Pat and Wooly were talking about that, how it's like, you can tell that Dominique started as, she's gonna be like a nun.
Yeah, like an evil, sexy nun.
But she started off as nun, and then they're like, what if she had, a slit up the side of her skirt? And what if, what if it was kind of cut a little low? What if it was a little tighter? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, okay.
Good.
And then they made her all crystallized and stuff, and you're like, that's pretty good. It's pretty good design. It's pretty good design.
I like that. I like the things that I am seeing.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Good job, guys. I like it.
So Miriam's design is pretty sexy, right? And it's done in a way that it's still kind of tasteful, yeah.
Okay, I mean, I feel like one boob is about to pop out at any given time because there isn't anything holding it in place. I'm just like, oh. But for the most part, it feels still kind of chaste because I mean she's wearing spats underneath her dress, and it's just a big roughly kind of pirate dress. It's not too sexy.
And it's like, okay, yeah, you're teetering the edge of too much, but you're not there. You didn't cross the line.
No, you're fine. It's
fine.
It's just sexy video game pro tag. It's not overly sexy.
But then it's like, but you can give her glasses.
Just like that. It's that easy, huh?
And then it's like, that's where they put it all.
That's where they put there's kitty ears.
Here's a bow you can give her. And it's like, okay.
Okay, I got it.
Here's a masquerade mask. Yep. All right.
You can give her kitty ears and a bunny outfit.
There is the one shard where it's just turn her into a bunny girl.
Just gives her a bunny outfit. It's like, okay, yeah, that makes sense.
She can do crazy karate moves with it. It's like, okay, yeah, but she is still in a bunny outfit.
Also, there's the one shard that turns her into Shovel Knight, which rules, even though it's not very useful.
It's still the best.
It's so good. I was like, what's this one do? And no, it's not a shard.
It's an armor. It's armor. Yeah, you equip the Shovel Knight armor.
I'm like, oh, new armor. I wonder what this one does. And I put it on, and I'm like, I'm a Shovel Knight.
And it's like, God, his design is so fucking good.
It's pretty good, actually.
You think about regular Shovel Knight, and he's just this tiny little guy, and he's a cute little round armor guy, and then you get to Bloodstained Shovel Knight, and it's like,
it's actually pretty shocking how well Shovel Knight kind of fits in with the rest of the design aesthetics in this game. He's not out of place, really. I'm like, good for you, Shovel Knight. You made it.
Bloodstained is good because it has the two tenets of a Kickstarter game, which is the
Shovel Knight cameo.
Shovel Knight and the Baz.
That's right, it has a Baz.
And man. I fucking wish the Baz was a bonus boss.
Oh, that would be
because he has a whip.
He does have a whip. He has a whip. You could fight the Baz, man. That's a shame.
That would have been so fucking cool.
That's a shame. But yeah, it's I mean, the plot of Bloodstained is incredibly rudimentary, which is all it needs to be. It's fine. It's fine.
The demons are here. Go into the castle that appeared and fight this monster, and you were betrayed by this horribly suspicious woman.
mystery. I was actually more so, like, I thought they were gonna, like, red herring me. Like, oh, Dominique is being too shady. It's obviously Johannes. No, it's not. Like, I would have liked that. I would have liked, like, Dominique's being really shady, but she just kind of has, like, a shady, you know, like, shady vibe. She's fine. Surprise! It's the incel walk guy. No, it's fine.
It's the worst case of childhood best friend it's ever been.
He's so bland. Johannes is so... I think that's, like, my biggest thing, is that, like, you had all these other really interesting characters, like Dominique and Jeeble, and... I mean, Jeeble's on screen for, like, approximately 4 minutes, and it's like, you're kind of interesting. He also has a good voice actor, which I think helps, and a really, really dope design. I think I really like him and Miriam's stained glass skin look. It just looks really cool.
Right? You get that, and you get that that funny bit where you run into Benjamin, and he's like, I've never met anyone with crystals in their skin, and she's like, oh yes, it's all the rage in Paris. And he's like, I've never been to Spain.
Yeah, that's right. Oh my god. Yeah, so it's like you have all these cool, you know, Zangetsu has like a cool design, and like Jeeble has a really cool design, and Dominique has a really cool design, and none of them make it to the end of the game. I'm stuck with Johannes. It's like, man.
I've never met anyone, how do I say this? I've never met anyone who just wears a regular school uniform as hard as Johannes.
This is a man who has never, ever customized any outfit he's ever owned. He just buys things straight off the rack and doesn't do anything interesting with them. That's like, Johannes' energy.
He's not, but Yuri Lowenthal. Like, I know that's not his voice actor, but he radiates big Yuri Lowenthal as not the protagonist.
Yeah, that's so true. Oh, man. It's like, I've never been more disappointed to get to the end of the game, and it's just like Miriam and Johannes standing in the field, and I'm like, really? This guy?
I would have rather had Lindsay standing in the field with Miriam at the end.
I mean, honestly, she's got more personality.
Lindsay's fucking, out of all of the side quest, like, villagers, Lindsay's the fucking best.
I feel like Lindsay is, like, 5 minutes away from just getting an axe and going to town herself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? She's more interesting than Johannes. Johannes is just so bland. He's like plain toast, vanilla ice cream. You know, he's just he's a saltine cracker in a video game full of, like, delicious morsels. All these beautiful designs, and at the end of it, there's Miriam and fucking Johannes. I'm like, go away.
Visual novel protagonist.
Oh god, is he not? He's like an 1800s visual novel protag. It's so bland. He's just there for everybody to project onto. He even does a virgin walk. It's like, man, would you go away? I will take anyone over you right now. Bring back Dominique. I was really hoping Johannes would be like a surprise traitor. I thought that'd be a fun twist, you know?
I would have liked it if it's just like, or just like you go into a room and it's like, here's Johannes, he's the hardest boss fight in the game, go.
Yeah. Nope.
No, he's just your shop. He's just your cooking guy.
Although, speaking of characters, I think everybody on Earth accidentally got the bad end.
Oh, yeah! I mean, like, not even in a like, oh man, I made the wrong decision, but like, oh, I mean, yeah, obviously you would probably fight him again, right? Like,
right?
Before, like, the real bossing. Like, I walked into that thing and I'm like, oh shit, there he is. I'm gonna fight him. Yeah, Virgil 2. I'm gonna fight him, he's gonna run away, and then Virgil 3 will be later. And it's like, oh, you won, and then it's like, it's just Miriam and Johannes being like, well, it's over. Dominique will clean up. Bye. No credits. Just game over.
Just get game over screen. You fucked up. You get a trophy. That's all you get. Nerd. It's not even like a joke ending.
They make it incredibly obvious. It's like, no, there's more.
You fucked up. Go figure it out. Go do it right. I don't know if you know this, but if you, after you discover that Gremory is controlling Jeeble, you can still, I think I was just like, oh, I know what I did. I went in, I had the Zangetsuo, and I'm like, all right, let's go do this. And then the cutscene, like the intro cutscene played out exactly the same. So I was like, fuck, I did it wrong. I must have done something wrong. So I just killed Jeeble again. I was just like, fine, let's just get it over with. I'll restart for my next save. And I didn't pay attention to the moon because I'm a dumbass. Mm-hmm. And I was just like, fine, we'll just kill it. Because, I mean, it literally starts the exact same. I was expecting some kind of change now that I had, like, discovered the true ending. But no. And so I just killed Jeeble again. But hey, if you kill Jeeble without destroying the moon and you still get the bad end, you get another trophy. You get Gremory saying, now I can control you. It's the exact same ending.
Nice.
Yeah, it's the exact same ending, except you get like one little extra piece of dialogue before.
That's cool.
And you get another trophy out of the deal. So there you go. I learned that because I'm a dumbass.
There's your replay value.
Yeah, just go do that fight 3 times. It's like a really easy fight. I was really hoping it would be something more. I just owned the shit out of Jeeble, like, hardcore. I'm just like, sorry, buddy. I'm sorry.
It is satisfying to fight Gremory with that sword, though.
Oh, yeah, it is.
Double crit, double crit, double crit, double crit, double crit.
Critting all day long. So good, yeah. That last sequence of boss fights is pretty good. It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
Fighting Dominique is great. She's amazing. That final boss is
tedious.
It's long. It's really long.
It's the same problem you were saying earlier. Like, boy, I feel like I should have been done like 4 minutes ago.
Like, it's not hard. The attack, like, especially if you invert right away in that boss fight, it's trivial.
Yeah, of course.
Because, like, half the attacks won't hit now.
Right, yeah, exactly.
But, like, he just has so much HP, and, like, you only have to mistime a few jumps, and you're like, I gotta heal again.
I'm dead again, yeah. So, it's just, it's tedious, it's not really interesting. Dominique is great, it's that problem. It's like, you should have ended it on the Dominique fight. Just
right?
End it on Virgil 3.
And end your game on Virgil 3.
You listen. The rule should always be you end your action game on someone walking towards you slowly.
Don't end it on Arkham. End it on Virgil 3.
Don't never end it on a big monster. End it on some just like random person who's about you sized, who's walking towards you kind of slowly and has like similar abilities like Dominique does. And
kind of looks like you, like Dominique.
Yeah, it's like 2 sexy ladies, and they both have, like, cool magic powers, but Dominique has, like, a neat, like, hair gimmick, and she does things slightly differently. It's like, that's how you end your game. That would have been cool. It's like, yeah, okay. No, instead we gotta end it on a big monster that nobody cares about.
A big monster, like we've never heard before. It's like, okay, whatever, I don't care. It's got 3 heads. It's
just a 3-headed thing, and then Dominique is there sometimes. It's like, nah, this isn't as cool. End it on the person-shaped enemy. Always. If you're making an action game, if you're making even kind of an action-y video game, because Bloodstained isn't like a pure action video game.
I mean, like, think about Castlevania. I mean, I don't know, maybe they do it differently. Like, I know some of the handheld ones like ended on a big fucking monster, but like, dude, your final boss in Castlevania is Dracula. And, he's 8 feet tall, but he's still not a big monster. I mean, sometimes...
like that one Tumblr post says, that is 8 feet tall. He is shaped like a boyfriend, okay?
They didn't look at the thing and be like, oh, that's just a graphical imitation of the NES. They're like, nope, Dracula's just 8 feet tall.
and Lisa of Lupu climbed that whole mountain like a baller. That man is shaped like a boyfriend. Okay?
It's like, sometimes Dracula turns into a big monster, but he is usually not, and that's what you fight him as. You fight the last boss and he's Dracula, and it's cool that way.
It's way cooler that way. Just do it like that. Man, I don't know, I'm just like, I think Devil May Cry, like, gave me brainworms. Because now I'm just like, no, make it more like Devil May Cry. It's July, and I'm still saying that.
It could be more Devil May Cry-ish, is what we're saying. Is
you can always... I was, like, playing this game, I'm like, where the fuck are my pause combos? There are no pause combos in this game.
There are no combos. You do not have any.
Well, there are combos, like we were saying. You learn them with the different weapons and stuff. Those are your combos. But I like pause combos.
Yeah, they're not Devil May Cry combos. They're just a few abilities you can chain together.
Yeah, it's more like circumstance based. I'm sure there are some really useful ones, but again, I haven't had a chance to really kind of sit down and play with it yet. But like, just give me a handful of pause combos, you know, like tap tap pause tap or tap pause tap tap, you know.
Yeah.
Two or three of those just to vary things up, so I don't feel like I'm just doing the same thing over again. And that's it. That, you know, just make it more like Devil May Cry. See, that actually does answer my question. Because we were talking earlier, it's like, is Devil May Cry still Game of the Year? The answer is yes, because if I'm saying about other video games, make it more like Devil May Cry, then the answer is yeah, Devil May Cry is still the game of 2019, unless, you know, unless Fire Emblem really knocks it out of the fucking park. We'll see. But yeah, Bloodstained is still a good action game. Even
it does come close.
It comes real... We'll see how this year closes, because this year is intense. It's, 2017 was a good year, but it was all I feel like it was all kind of front-loaded, you know?
And I thought 2019 was going to be front-loaded too, but then it's like...
Nope.
No. Fire Emblem's coming out.
We're at the end of a generation, guys. It means all of the video games are coming out right now. And
Fire Emblem's coming out. Death Stranding is still coming out.
Oh God, yeah. There's so much coming out.
There's so many fucking games coming out.
It's a huge problem. And, you know, like, it's crazy. Like, fucking Bloodstained is a contender. It's probably not Game of the Year, now that I'm thinking about it more, because, like I'm sitting here like, yeah, but what if it was more like Devil May Cry? So that answers that question. But it's easily top 5 right now, you know? We play a lot of video games this year.
And considering it's not even complete, because we're getting 2 whole-ass characters still.
Yeah.
Multiplayer mode, speedrun mode, versus mode.
I think there's going to be a boss rush mode.
There's already is one, I think.
Oh, is that under extras?
I think it's already in there, yeah.
I hadn't had a chance to go in there yet.
Like, all of these extra modes, and it's like, holy shit, yeah, this game is going to be big for a while.
Yeah. I think after this game is patched a few more times, and all the DLC is out, and, you know, the dust has settled, and all of Bloodstained is here now. Bloodstained could easily be... if not the best game of the year, then like number 2 or 3.
It's on the list for sure.
It's really damn good is ultimately what it boils down to. It's definitely inspired in me a desire to play more of these games. So I'll probably do that at some point.
Like, this is one of those games where it's like, this and Shovel Knight are like Kickstarter games. This is what they can be, you know?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like a singular focused vision of like the kind of game you want to make, and you stick to it. That's what you get. You get this extremely focused, very refined experience. That's what you want, really.
Oh yeah. You just want one guy's vision, like, and his team are able to put it out and know what everyone wants out of it, you know?
And it is really surprising how hard Bloodstained delivers on that, and again, because I don't have any experience with any Castlevanias before, I really haven't had anything like this before, and I get it now. I do truly get the appeal, the sense of exploration, the sense of learning the systems as you go. You're progressing and you're getting better and you're coming to an understanding. I like that a lot, and Bloodstained just does it so well, and it just feels so streamlined. With a few more things, it could be truly streamlined.
A few things here and there, it's just like, oh yeah, you can easily patch that in. But yeah, like this is what you want every Kickstarter game to be, you know?
Yeah, oh my god, yes.
And like I said at the very beginning, like, this is not just what Igavania fans want. This is what Castlevania fans want. Like,
yeah.
Do you want something that just feels like this could be Castlevania from now on?
Oh yeah, absolutely. We were saying that like if Konami never brought back Castlevania, okay.
Yeah, we have Bloodstained now.
We have Bloodstained now.
We have Bloodstained. We have the guy who invented this version of Castlevania, and he's making this game. And I mean, like, I've no people have said it, but like, you can just fucking put Dracula and Frankenstein and Bloodstained.
They're public domain. Nobody is going to stop you.
Make them look different.
Yeah.
Make them look.
You made Alucard. You gave Alucard black hair, so give Dracula, I don't know, red hair or something.
I don't know.
There you go.
Make him look more like old classic Universal Dracula, but just like anime version, and then like there you go.
Sexy anime classic Universal Dracula. Okay.
Yeah,
he kind of look like Sparta. Now that I think about it, be kind of cool.
Yeah, that'd be good Dracula. Yeah.
Sure. Why not?
Just make him look like Dante Sparta, like the playable Sparta with the slicked back hair and all that.
Monocle, hair slicked back, got the ruffle. Yeah, just do that. It's fine.
Perfect. And there you go.
This is Dracula now, and we'd all be like, oh, okay, sounds good.
Then Konami, and then like, what are you gonna do, Konami? Were you gonna stop me? Are you gonna?
You guys already fucked it up. You guys you ruined it. You ruined it with the bad ones, the bad 360 ones that nobody wants to talk about.
They already did the fucking Metal Gear Survivor thing with Lindsay, where they're like, no, I mean, like, because the thing like with Metal Gear Survive opens with the coffin, and they're like, I'm sorry we had to do this, and then it's like, oh yeah, what are all of Lindsay's like take revenge for? And it's like, oh, avenge the death of Simon, avenge the death of Richter, of Trevor, of Lisa, Sypha,
Maria. Yeah, it's not subtle.
Oh, okay, I get it. They're all,
It's Castlevania characters, because Ego's still kind of bitter about losing this game series. Yeah.
They're all dead, and you need to avenge their deaths. Do you see?
Do you get it?
Do you get it?
I get it.
So, you didn't do it, but if you do go into the Warhorse room,
yes.
The boss in there is a Revenant that is a Belmont.
What?
He's got a whip. He throws crosses and axes and holy water.
Oh my god!
You're just fighting an undead Belmont.
Oh my god! Okay, well that's what I'm gonna do. That's one of the other things to check off my list to like really familiarize myself with Bloodstained, because we'll talk about it in a second. But hey, we have a new way to talk about video games, so sit tight.
I guess just like real quick final thoughts, like I'm gonna be fine. I'm gonna dig up some more Igavanias.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna
start with Symphony of the Night.
Yeah, I already own Hollow Knight, and that's pretty good. But like, I want to play more. I want to play the Igavanias. I want to play the ones that he made.
Although feel is still wrong. Hollow Knight. You should still play Hollow Knight just because Bloodstained came out, you crazy person.
Yeah, Hollow Knight's still really, really fucking good, but like... Yeah, I want to play Symphony of the Night, I want to play the GBA one and the DS ones. I just have to like track down how to play them in an easy way.
Yo ho yo.
I know, but I also kind of want to play them on the go, so like I want to play them at like work and stuff, so if I can find them online somewhere, I'll do that, but also I can find them off the back of a truck if I want to. But yeah, I mean, like, I really, really hope that we get a Bloodstained 2. I feel like we're going to.
We're gonna get a Bloodstained 2. Absolutely. This game has been doing pretty well.
I think that, like, you can just continue the Castlevania legacy with this game. With this series, with these characters. I want to see more of all these, of Miriam and Zangetsu.
Find a way to bring back Jeeble. Nobody cares about Johannes. Alright? Just, who cares about him? Bring back the 3 coolest looking characters in the game.
You know what? Go a few years in the future and make Anna the new alchemist. Just have her get a job there.
Yeah. There you go.
That was one of the best parts is that like when Dominique is evil, like reveals herself to be evil, and so you go back to the shop and it's Anna, and Miriam's like, should you be handling these shards? And she's like, oh yeah, Dominique taught me how to do it. And it's like, oh, you can just teach a 7-year-old how to do this?
Sure, it's fine. Just do a time skip and have her be playable now. That'd be great, actually. Mm-hmm. Sure. Yeah, there's gonna be a Bloodstained 2. There's gonna be DLC. It's gonna be fine. Egan's back, baby.
I fucking want it to be like the second game rolls around and like it's like about like Miriam's mysterious past, and at the very end it's like, ah yes, Miriam Valmont.
Well, isn't it like in the Japanese version of Castlevania? Aren't the Belmonts like the Belmontes or something like that?
They're like the Valmons or something, I think.
Yeah.
It's so it's just a translation thing.
Just call her that.
Yeah, just
everybody's like, we won't tell if you won't. What's Konami gonna do?
And then Koji appears and he just winks at the camera.
Koji Igarashi is character, and he's just like, I won't tell if you won't tell.
He is a boss fight in the game.
Is he?
He's the DLC. He's the paid DLC.
Oh, that's awesome.
There is one other paid DLC that's out right now.
Okay.
And I think Backers got it for free, but it's you fight. The Twitter account for Bloodstained is Sword or Whip.
Okay.
At Sword or Whip, and the reason it's that is because during the Kickstarter thing, they're like, hey, do you want to fight when you fight Igarashi? Do you want a cool sword or do you want a cool whip?
Oh.
And it was basically split down the middle, and so you get sword whip. You get an Ivy Valentine sword whip.
Awesome. That's so cool. Radical. So cool. Yeah. I really enjoyed Bloodstained a lot. That's my final thoughts. Is I really liked Bloodstained. I'm gonna play it some more, and yeah, big recommend. 40. One of our Ko-fi, we can't say patrons. When somebody bought us a Ko-fi, and they bought me a copy of Bloodstained so that I could actually play it. So thank you. I think it was Alf. Was it Alf?
I don't know. I have to check.
It was somebody from our Discord, because we have a Discord now.
Yeah.
So.
But yeah, so that's about all I got right now until the DLC comes out.
We'll come back to it because hey, we're doing a slight format change.
Yeah, we are mixing it up. We talked about it. We're gonna do our regular old analysis episode. Mm-hmm. We're gonna do the same thing for an indie week every month. But we are at the end of the month. We are now going to do a monthly roundup.
Yes.
Where we talk about what we're playing in general. Not a full-length episode, just what we're playing, how we feel about it, as well as relevant gaming news that's happening.
We definitely didn't take this idea from Castle Super Beast and Gigaboot's podcast.
No, of course not. But it's just an easier way for us to kind of talk about things without making them a full production episode.
Yeah. Because Ben and I play video games differently. It's like Ben tends to play like more video games, and I kind of tend to latch on to like a handful, and so it can sometimes be like, hey, we really want to talk about these two very different games, but we don't want to devote a whole episode to it. So that's what the roundup is going to be.
Mm-hmm. And it's also just so that we can expand more and play things without being like, okay, this is going to be an episode.
Right.
Like it just gives us a bit more wiggle room and freedom and stuff. So yeah. That'll be our new format going forward. Regular episode, Indie Week, and then monthly roundup.
Yeah.
And then, because we're going to have a bit more free time, once we start getting set up and are more comfortable with our time, we are going to start streaming.
Yes, once a
week. Once a week, every Thursday. Obviously, the very first thing we're going to stream is we're going to stream Yick. But we're gonna be posting whatever we're gonna play together. Stuff like Wolfenstein, Youngblood will be on that list, and whatever Sara feels like playing. We have a setup for that. We just need to work it out and make sure we have the time available to do it. And we're gonna add that into the schedule along with this format change.
And then you'll get even more. You'll get even more of the Gorge.
Yeah. Tons more, and then we're gonna post all of our streams on our YouTube channel. I'm working on updating that, getting that up to speed with all of the episodes we've done so far. And then I'll be updating that along with our SoundCloud and our iTunes and all that.
Yeah.
So yeah, we are expanding and changing, and it's great. I am really, really excited to branch out and do stuff like this. Makes things a little easier
on us. Yeah. So, because this way we can kind of try other games without necessarily having to be like, oh, this should be a full episode. No, because I really want to play Cultist Simulator, but you didn't like Cultist Simulator.
No.
So this is how we do that.
Yeah, this is how a chance that we can talk about the things that it's like, I played it and you didn't, but I still want to talk about it.
And so Ben will finally get to talk about Kingdom Hearts 3.
Yeah.
That's what this is about, really. So Ben can finally talk about Kingdom Hearts 3.
So it'll be fun, and it'll be good to talk about like modern events and stuff, and all that fun cool things.
Is that it?
I think that's it. So if you want to help us out so we can afford these games that we're going to be streaming, you can donate to our coffee at ko-fi.com/thegorge. You can follow us on Twitter. You can follow me at The Gorge Podcast. You can follow Sara at Radio You can send us emails with questions, comments, anything like that at thegorgepodcast@gmail.com. And if you donate to our coffee and you attach a message to it, we will read that message out loud. So if you have a promotion or anything you want, you can do that too. Any amount you donate, we'll read your message for you. And if you want to listen to the other thing Sara does once a week that's not streaming, you can listen to her other podcast, which she'll tell you about right now.
Hey, I'm in another podcast called Big Gay Nerds, where me and a bunch of cool queer friends get together and we play tabletop games. We try out lots of different systems, and it's a ton of fun. Right now we're playing Blades in the... Actually, no, we took a slight break because our GM is a little overworked with school. So, Oh no! Ben! What is that game called? Hold on. No, okay, here it is. Hey, we're playing... I wasn't on this one, but it's a really cool game called Bleak Spirit, from the creator of Pig Smoke, which is a game we've also played on air. Bleak Spirit is a role-playing game without a GM, based around the idea of building a world that is kind of bleak and quiet and on the verge of death. It's very inspired by Dark Souls, like weird Dark Souls, like world building, and they played that, and it was super, super interesting. So, huge recommend. Go check that out. Otherwise, we're playing Blades in the Dark. We're at Big Gay Nerds on SoundCloud, and you can find the links to the rest of our social media from there. Thanks.
Alright, that'll do it for us.
Am I allowed to say... I mean, I know Johannes didn't really do anything. Like,
no! I have one.
Oh, gimme.
What's her fucking name? The hungry old lady.
Oh, I don't know. What is the old lady's name? Who cares? Her.
Fuck her because she's the whiniest bitch out there. Oh my god. Doing hers is the fucking worst.
I did like 3 of hers and I was like, I'm done with you.
She's so fucking annoying.
She's very annoying. Like, and I don't want to put the work into it.
Like the other ones, like killing the monsters is fine. Getting accessories to lay the other villagers to rest. Yeah. It's like, oh, that's noble and honorable,
Fine.
This bitch is just hungry.
And she's insatiable. It's like, lady, I'm trying to save the world.
Here's a fucking omelet and some spaghetti, and you're like, oh, I'm still a bit peckish. It's like, fuck off.
Whatever.
Shut up, Grandma.
Be quiet. Fuck you, Grandma.
Fuck you, Grandma. Good night, everyone.